Good evening.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
My name's Eve.
And this organization is called?
Fair Fund.
And you just had a big event, so I know you're kind of tired, but
We did, yeah.
Can you show us this illustration and tell us what this represents?
Sure. This represents what a teen in DC thinks of a victim of commercial sexual exploitation, what many teens call a hoe.
Okay. And there's a part down here, then what does that represent particularly?
That's what it says. I believe it says Pop Cherry.
Yeah.
Should be talking about her virginity. It's also kind of representing how she's hurt. She's a victim. Up here it says no money, no car, no chance.
Yeah.
She has no chance in life. She's looking like she's pretty beat up.
So it's pretty demeaning.
It's very demeaning, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that you want to provide tonight some positive reinforcement for kids to think about what their options are and to stay away from this kind of lifestyle.
Exactly. And to change the perception of someone who's being victimized this way from what a lot of teens call a hoe to someone who's called a victim of commercial sexual exploitation or survivor.
Okay. So I'm going to move over to your colleague here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what has happened tonight.
Hi.
How you doing? I know that, Amelia, you've been very busy tonight, and you've had a lot of people to talk to, and so what would you say this evening's been like for you?
It's great. It's great to build momentum for what we're trying to accomplish in DC. And we are looking for a comprehensive anti-trafficking bill and then a safe space for teens that have been victimized so that they can transition into happy and healthy survivors. And so we've had a great night with a lot of wonderful stakeholders. The Washington Area Women's Foundation was here, and they sponsored the event, and a lot of people in the community that work with this population. So it was great to have them, and I think everyone had a good chance to get to know them.
Great. Congratulations to you. Could you show us just a few more illustrations tonight?
Sure.
And
So what Fair Fund does is we work alongside young women to prevent sexual violence and exploitation and to support young survivors. And so one of our programs here in Washington, D.C. is called Tell Your Friends. And we go inside the D.C. public school system and at different youth service agencies around the city to talk about what commercial sexual exploitation is. And so on the second day of the workshops, we play popular music and we ask them to draw what they think of when they hear commercial sexual exploitation, pimps, and hoes. And this is what we get. We get sort of three different types. We get the glamorized portrayal of what it means to be a pimp, and it's they're well dressed and they're flashy and they're sexy and they're attractive. And this is sort of what kids in the city most draw the most is this idea. That it's very high.
the graphics here that represent what they say.
The glamorized portrayal of pimp culture and prostitution culture, and then there's a whole series of pictures, if you go this way, that sort of speak to the violence and the severity of the violence in commercial sexual exploitation. And it becomes clear that kids have been exposed to this in some way in their everyday lives. There are names, there are street signs, all sorts of really intense depictions of what commercial sexual exploitation really means. And then there's sort of the third and what we're most proud of, and that's the series of drawings that sort of tells us that they've learned something, that there's a difference between the perception and the reality, and that not everybody involved in commercial sex is a hoe, that there are some that are sexually exploited children.
And they're all different styles too. Everyone's a different artist.
It speaks a lot to the power of art education too, I think. For a lot of these kids that we work with, it's the first time in a long time that they've had an opportunity to draw in their classes, and so we try and provide them with the materials to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah, so all of these drawings were done within what period of time?
Most of these kids that drew these are between the ages of 14 and 17.
Yeah, that's their age. What they were done recently, though?
Yeah, in the past 6 to 7 months.
Quite a few drawings here.
This is just a selection of them. There are hundreds and hundreds more.
Oh, wow. So you've got others on archive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But so what we're trying to do is prevent this really harsh form of exploitation and then provide outlets for kids that are vulnerable to sort of participate in their communities in a safe way.
How did you get into this?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
It's something that was your calling in a sense,
Sure.
right?
I do fundraising and development work as well as some community outreach. So I wanted to be part of social change philanthropy, and it's a small organization that we're really trying to make happen and be a voice in the community.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it. You got a good turnout tonight,
It was a
right?
great turnout.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
And it wasn't just the free food that brought people. It was a real sincere interest in
It was
all
the
the things.
free bar.
Yeah, that had something to do with it. But no, it's a good idea. And you had it in an area where people were able to walk through and
Well, you know,
and
this is
interact
one
with
of the
you.
most notorious tracks in Washington, D.C., right here on 1425, and there's a lot of kids that are out here on an everyday basis. So we were trying to juxtapose this event and this positive with sort of the reality that's right outside.
There was a time when 14th Street represented sort of the red light district in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's changed a little bit, but there's still remnants of that in the area.
Sure, of course,
Okay.
of course. A lot of it's moved online. A lot of the sexual exploitation and the trafficking of children is available online, and there are really great task force that are working to help it. But Fairfund's kick is to prevent it so that the exploitation never takes place in the first place.
Well, hopefully you have received some thanks tonight, and
Thank you.
and that people have been appreciative of what you've been able to accomplish with this organization.
Thanks.
And if someone wants to be involved and they want to volunteer or maybe be in your staff or whatever capacities, how would you suggest that they get in contact
Well, I think that you should go to www.fairfund.org. That's FAIRFUND.org, or call our office. The number is online there, and then tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And we'll see if there's a fit.
Well, you seem like the perfect fit for this organization. I want to thank you for your time, and
Thanks for doing
you've been
this.
very
I appreciate that.
patient with me tonight, so thanks again for that.
Cheers.
But it's really worth it to hear you speak about this. It's very compelling and
Thanks.
very important. So,
Thanks.
Amelia, it's been a pleasure
Thanks
meeting
for
you.
doing this. This is very cool. Nice
I
to
love
meet you
doing
too.
this kind of stuff, so I appreciate your help.
Absolutely.